Hey guys, Keaton here from TechSmart, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest handset from the South Korean company LG. It's the LG G Flex, and this phone is very cool. It features a curved display from top to bottom, and other competitors are starting to make curved displays such as Samsung going from left to right, and this phone definitely does feature some top-of-the-line specifications, and it's quite similar to the LG G2, but one of the other cooler features on this device is the fact that it has a self-healing polyurethane backing, if we want to get super technical here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing holds up against scratches, and some other people have tested out how great it truly is. So without further ado, let's hop on into it and see if it's worth your hard-earned dollars. So kicking it off here is the hardware category. So at the front of the screen here, we are seeing a 6-inch 720p HD display with a pixels per inch of 245, so definitely on the lower end from what we've seen from other curved smartphones and typical smartphones out on the market right now. It features a Snapdragon 800 processor, which is just absolutely bouse. It comes in at 2.26 gigahertz with 2 gigabytes of RAM, so it's going to be snappy as hell. It features a 3500 milliamp hour battery, which just lasts you for days upon days upon days, and it absolutely blew me away. It's rocking Android 4.2.2, known as Jelly Bean, and hopefully we'll be receiving the Android 4.4 KitKat update at the time of recording this video. And then flipping it over to the rear, we have our self-healing kind of back, which we'll definitely be discussing later. A 13 megapixel shooter with 1080p HD video capabilities. So overall, the phone is featuring pretty decent specifications. So the phone is definitely fast and snappy, and we can truly thank the Snapdragon 800 processor in conjunction with 2 gigabytes of RAM for really making this experience pleasurable on the screen itself. So in terms of look and feel here, I think the screen looks fantastic. The colors really pop off it. Although it's a 720p HD display, colors are still going to look HD. I mean, granted, it's only 245 pixels per inch, but without getting too technical here, the colors look fine in this. You can definitely see your content nicely, and unless you really hold it up side by side to a phone that features a 1080p display, you won't really notice the difference. So when the phone is in your hands, you can definitely know there's some uncomfortable aspects of it. The 6-inch display followed by the self-healing, slippery, yucky back that LG's trying to push this year, it just does not feel right in the hands. Yes, it's self-healing to some kind of degree, but this thing picks up fingerprints similar to its bigger brother, the LG G2, and every bit of dust that is ever in the air will be on this phone. Whenever I had it in like a pocket or I was trying to like hide it away from dust, it would still find a way to get dust on the phone. And just in terms of aesthetics, when you go ahead and look at the phone and pick it up in your hands, it just does not feel comfortable at all, and that's definitely a big downside to the G Flex. So in terms of software here, it's featuring Android 4.2.2, Jelly Bean, whatever you want to call it here. And there's been many iterations of Android 4. Fill in the blank. And Android 4.4 KitKat was just released a few weeks ago, and at the time of recording this video, the LG G Flex has not received that update. But when it does, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and give you guys the coverage on how a curved display from top to bottom looks with all the great aesthetic changes that Android 4.4 KitKat do bring to the table. But in terms of Jelly Bean here, it works. We have Google Now in here, which is really great, and I'm not a big fan of LG's skin here. I think it looks absolutely atrocious, so I went ahead and kind of just customized the icons to kind of minimize the complaints that I really did have with LG's skin, and I just think it looks okay. These are the stock icons that you could find on a stock Experience or on a Nexus device, and I'd say for the most part, the software on here, it's really clunky. It's worse than Samsung's TouchWiz, but again, I really am a big hardware guy, and I like to know how a device performs, so I was able to kind of overlook that, as Android is so customizable that you could always go ahead and change it or flash it or things along those lines. So overall here, I think software is okay on here, but when this thing gets 4.4 KitKat, you guys better watch out. This phone is going to be an absolute beast. So in terms of camera here, it features the 13 megapixel camera on the rear and a 2 megapixel camera on the front, and I'd say both of those cameras, they take photos decently. LG has never been able to master the whole optics thing with the camera. This is super prominent on the Nexus 5, and you could easily see it on the Nexus 4, and it's kind of sad as they have pretty much everything else there. We see it with the G2, and I'd say this phone definitely performs pretty well despite the quirkiness we see in the curve. And yes, you're going to get the standard features like editing photos that you do get with Android, and I think it's okay if you want to just take some photos, but if you're using this as almost a professional camera, I don't know why you'd be using a mobile phone, but if you're using it as a professional camera, this is definitely not the option to go. So you're seeing some sample photos now, and I think it looks okay for what it is. Now keep in mind, you're going to need some optimal light, and the one big problem I have is either photos are undersaturated, oversaturated, or just completely grainy. So overall, I think the camera does okay. So up next here is battery life. Battery life on this phone is absolutely fantastic. It features the largest battery out on the market right now. Well, don't quote me on that, but the largest compatible battery with the phone. And on the inside, it's a 3500 milliamp hour battery. And my God, this thing just goes for too many days on end. I had this device charged since day one. I've had this for 5 days now, and I've only had to charge it once. And I've been using this device pretty heavily each and every day for around 5 to 7 hours. So you can easily get about, I'd even quote it at about 24 full hours on this device, and that's more than enough for any type of user. And I think it's fantastic that they're having a bigger battery in there. Now, it's kind of sad it's non-removable like we do see with the Samsung Galaxy Round, but I think 3500 milliamp hours will definitely get you through all your tasks. And even if you're using this hardcore every second of the day, you're going to be able to go ahead and get the full-fledged experience without having to go ahead and charge your phone at any point within the day. So last but definitely not least here is the self-healing feature. So basically what it is advertised to do is you can go ahead and, scuff it up a little bit, and it should go ahead and self-heal itself via polyurethane. So we saw this demo a few weeks ago, and they have optimal conditions of about 80 to 81 degrees, and they're using a specific bronze brush. I don't know how stiff that is in person because I don't own that brush, but as soon as I got this phone, I took a knife to it thinking, oh, it could just self-heal itself. Man, was I wrong. And you're seeing the knife scratch. It is not going away. I've tried putting a hairdryer over it. In the back is definitely self-healable. I put this phone with my keys in my pocket. There was a few faint scratches when I pulled it out, and then about 5 to 10 minutes later, with optimal heating conditions, they were gone. So keep in mind here, if you're going ahead and putting hard objects against this, you're going to notice the scratches. When these were first made, it was terrible, so they've kind of dissolved over time, but after about 3 days now, they're just sticking like this, and again, I've tried to hairdryer on those. Also, this phone is flexible, so it is curved from top to bottom, so if you go ahead and push down on it, you can get it to lay completely flat. Do not do this with any other phone besides this unless you know it is flexible, and they advertise that as being one of the big selling points. Personally, this doesn't do much for me. It's just one of those cool features you can impress a friend with. This doesn't change how I feel about the phone, but I guess one advantage is it does feel a lot better when in your pocket. So overall, I think the LG G Flex is a great concept phone. I like the curve and the flexibility and the self-healing that it really has. But the problem I have with the self-healing is I personally thought you could take a knife to it and just go ahead and do town on it. You could just go ahead and scratch it and it would self-heal itself in said duration, like we did see with the bristled brush with the optimal conditions. And I went ahead and replicated that, and I did not see the same results. But I think it's kind of cool, and I think they can go ahead and make this better for the future. And I think that's something I would actually want to go ahead and buy a second version to go ahead and see that. I think Android runs great on here. I think when Android 4.4 KitKat comes out for this device is going to be screaming off the walls. And I think the curve on here, it's great. I do like the Samsung Galaxy Round's curve a little bit more, as it really cups to your hands nicely, but it's nice to have one from top to bottom. And it's a 6-inch display. I love big displays, and I like how it feels in your pocket. But the one big thing I don't really like about it is the fact that it's a 720p HD display, and I would have really liked to have seen a 1080p HD display. As a consumer, you won't really know the difference unless you put them, head to head and just, put them right next to one another, and that's when you're really going to see how much clearer and crisper and more vivid the 1080p HD display is over the 720p HD display. So also on this unit is LTE-A speeds, and when I put my AT&T SIM card in here, this was just absolutely fast, and I loved it, and it really accented all the device really had. So the cool part about this is the fact that it'll be coming to the United States. FCC reports show that AT&T and Sprint cellular bands have been found with this device, and this is just what I know at the current time of filming this video. You might see this in the future and go, hey, this is available on all 4 carriers. And if that's the case, I'll let you know in the description below. So if you really want it now and you're super eager and you want to be able to check out another curved smartphone besides the Samsung Galaxy Round, this unit will run you about $1,100, and that's imported from South Korea. And if you want to go and check that out, you got deep pockets. A link can be found right below that like button on this video. And if you go ahead and do purchase it, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of it, as I definitely want to know what you guys think about the self-healing feature. Thank you guys so much for watching this video where we reviewed one of the first curved smartphones out there with the self-healing back, the LG G Flex. If you guys enjoyed this review, go ahead and throw me a like, as it really lets me know you guys truly did enjoy this review, and go ahead and give me a like if you guys want to see more cool content like this, and I'd be more than happy to go ahead and compare the Samsung Galaxy Round, the other curved smartphone there, and if you want to go ahead and check out our review, a link can be found right below that like button, to the LG G Flex, as these phones are definitely similar with the curved displays, but definitely do have their differences. Also, let me know in in the comments section down below what you think of these devices. Do you think they're cool? Would you ever buy a curved smartphone? When they come to the United States, will you even consider it? Again, let me know in the comments section down below. Finally, go and subscribe to the channel to be notified first when I produce a brand new video on curved smartphones, gaming consoles, things along those lines, and we will be having more giveaways, I promise you. And just a quick disclaimer here, the rest of 2013 is purely going to be about giving back to you guys, as I'm very grateful for all the support that you guys have given me, and this has just been an awesome ride. So go ahead and subscribe to be notified when we produce a brand new giveaway. Thank you guys once again, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.